The road to glory is officially mapped out for England as we look ahead to the 2026 World Cup. Thomas Tuchel and the Three Lions have a clear path to the final in New York on July 19, but it won't be easy with potential showdowns against powerhouses like Brazil, Argentina, and Spain waiting in the knockout rounds. Can they finally secure that second star after 60 years of waiting?
Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Meanwhile, the race is on for Nottingham Forest star Morgan Gibbs-White to force his way into Thomas Tuchel's plans. Despite an incredible hat trick against Burnley and being in the form of his life, he faces stiff competition from the likes of Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden for that number 10 spot. With the final squad deadline looming on May 30, does he have enough time to prove he belongs on the plane? Concerns are mounting over the physical toll on key England starters as the grueling club season nears its end. Declan Rice has been absolute vital for Arsenal, but looks pushed to the brink, while other core figures like Morgan Rogers and Marc Guehi are showing signs of wear and tear. Experts are already questioning if these players will have any gas left in the tank by the time the opening whistle blows in Dallas. As we gear up for the tournament, the iconic terrace anthems that define our football culture are back in the spotlight. From the timeless classic Three Lions to the cool factor of World in Motion, these songs are the heartbeat of the England fan experience. We want to hear your predictions for the summer, so drop a comment below, like this video, and hit that subscribe button with the notification bell turned on for all your latest World Cup updates. Is this finally the year the trophy comes home? The road to the 2026 World Cup is officially mapped out, and England's route to glory is as treacherous as it is tantalizing. With Thomas Tuchel at the helm, the mission is simple: secure that elusive second star. FIFA has shaken things up with a new Wimbledon-style seating system, which is a massive relief for the Three Lions. It means they've effectively sidestepped a collision course with powerhouses like Spain, Argentina, and France until the very deep end of the tournament, provided everyone wins their groups. Let's look at the dream run if England tops Group L. We kick off on June 17th against Croatia in Arlington, followed by clashes with Ghana in Boston and Panama in New Jersey. Seems manageable, right? But the script gets intense fast. Once we hit the knockouts, we are looking at potential blockbusters. A round of 32 clash in Atlanta, followed by a high-stakes showdown against Mexico on their home turf in Mexico City. From there, it's a gauntlet of giants. Brazil in Miami, Argentina in Atlanta, and the ultimate dream final against Spain on July 19th at MetLife Stadium. Of course, tournament football is never that predictable. If England slips to second in their group, the path shifts entirely. We could be staring down the barrel of a round of 16 meeting with the European champions, Spain, which would set the tone for a completely different, and arguably tougher, journey involving Belgium and France. It's a brutal, high-stakes game of chess, but that's the price of immortality. What do you think? Does this England squad have the mental fortitude to navigate these heavy hitters and finally lift the trophy? Let me know your predictions in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button for all our tactical breakdowns, and remember, in football, glory is only ever one kick away. What does it take to turn a manager's head when the clock is ticking down to the biggest stage in football? For Nottingham Forest's Morgan Gibbs-White, the answer might just be 3 goals in a single afternoon. After a masterclass hat trick against Burnley, the narrative around this 26-year-old playmaker has shifted from long shot to undeniable. With only a month left until England's final World Cup squad is locked in, the pressure is mounting, and Gibbs-White is making a compelling, late-stage argument that he deserves a seat on the plane. Let's look at the reality of his situation. Last month, Thomas Tuchel left him out of the 35-man squad, a snub that would break the spirit of many. But Gibbs-White has channeled that frustration into pure output. Since March, he's been statistically one of the hottest English players in the Premier League, finding the back of the net with a consistency that is impossible to ignore. We're talking about a player who has been a centerpiece for the youth setup, a winner of the Under-17 World Cup, and a European champion with the under-21s. The pedigree is there, and the talent has never been in question. However, the competition, it's arguably the fiercest in the world. He is fighting for that number 10 spot against giants like Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, and Jude Bellingham. It is a crowded room, and Tuchel is notoriously selective. While Gibbs-White has logged the heavy minutes that prove his durability and importance to Forest, critics point to his lower touch numbers in the box and his defensive stats as reasons he might be on the outside looking in. Yet look at the intangibles. Scott Sellers, who coached him through his youth years, says he has always belonged in the same conversation as Foden. His mentality is elite, his drive is relentless, and he's currently in the best goal-scoring form of his professional life. So, will we see him in Dallas on June 17th? It will likely take a string of perfect performances and perhaps a bit of fortune regarding other players' health. But in tournament football, momentum is a currency all its own. Gibbs-White is betting everything on the idea that when the stakes are at their highest, form is the only thing that matters. Do you think Tuchel should take a gamble on this in-form spark, or is the depth of the current squad too strong to crack? Drop a comment below with your pick for that final midfield slot. Thanks for watching, and remember, in football, 1 month is an eternity. Let's see if he can make it count. Let's be honest. With the international break acting like a vacuum for excitement, it's the perfect time to pivot to our favorite national pastime, stressing out about England's prospects this summer. Between the questionable vibes of this upcoming tournament and the general fatigue hanging over the sport, it feels like we're bracing for a crash. But let's zoom in on the biggest red flag. Our players are running on absolute fumes. Just look at Declan Rice. Watching him play lately feels like watching a high-performance engine being redlined in first gear for 10 months straight. He isn't just playing. He's giving every ounce of his soul, wearing his heart on his sleeve, and essentially acting as the glue for both Arsenal and England. But there's a cost to that level of passion. Mikel Arteta has leaned on him so heavily this season that the minutes are stacking up to a terrifying degree. We're talking almost every single minute of Premier League action, plus a grueling Champions League campaign. When he's not covering every blade of grass for his club, he's anchoring the national team. By the time he reaches the summer, you have to wonder, will there be anything left in the tank, or are we just hoping his sheer force of will compensates for a completely exhausted body? And Rice isn't an outlier. Look at the rest of the squad. Elliot Anderson is practically chained to the pitch for Forest, and Morgan Rogers is being ridden just as hard at Villa. It's a vicious cycle where we're burning out our best assets before the main event even kicks off. Even our defensive anchors, like Guehi, are navigating seasons defined by intense club upheaval and massive physical workloads. It's almost like we're setting the stage for a what-if summer, where we blame the tactics when the real culprit is a calendar that refuses to give these guys a moment to breathe. Are we really expecting these human beings to peak when they're barely staying upright? Let me know in the comments if you think England's physical fatigue is a bigger threat than the competition itself. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the burnout crisis, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more hard-hitting football takes. After all, if we're going to suffer through the summer, we might as well understand exactly why it's happening. Ever felt that electric hum in the air right before an England match? It's not just nerves, it's a cocktail of hope, pride, and that uniquely British obsession that turns a football match into a national event. But before the players even step onto the pitch, the real game starts on the terraces with the anthems that define our history. Football in the UK isn't just a sport, it's a cultural monolith, and today, we're diving into the tracks that became the heartbeat of the nation. First, we have to bow down to the undisputed king. 3 Lions by Badial, Skinner, and the Lightning Seeds. Released in '96, this wasn't just a chart topper. It was a mirror held up to the English soul. It didn't sugarcoat anything. By admitting to those 30 years of hurt, it tapped into that cynical, bruised, yet somehow eternally optimistic heart of the England supporter. It remains the gold standard, because it told the truth about what it feels like to love a team that breaks your heart over and over again. Then there's the cool factor, New Order's World in Motion. Forget the traditional sports ballads, this was pure early 90s rave brilliance. And let's be honest, John Barnes' rap didn't just age well. It became a legendary moment in pop culture. It turned football into something accessible and undeniably fun, reminding us all that at its best, the game is a massive, beautiful spectacle. Of course, we can't ignore the cheeky chaos of Fat Les, Vindaloo. This was the anthem of the pub-going, chanting, pie-eating culture that is just as vital to the game as the ball itself. It didn't take itself seriously, and that's exactly why we loved it. It captured the unfiltered mayhem of being a fan. Now, as we look toward the 2026 World Cup, the hype is already building. Will we see a new anthem define the modern era, or will we find ourselves chanting the classics once again? It's a time of debate and feverish speculation. For the modern fan, this buildup is part of the ritual. Whether you're deep diving into squad stats or looking to add an extra layer of stakes to your matchday experience, like checking out the latest England betting odds, every bit of that engagement makes the final result hit just a little bit harder. Ultimately, these songs are the rhythm of our hopes and the melody of our memories. We'll complain about the lyrics and mock the music videos, but come kickoff, you'll be singing every word at the top of your lungs. So tell me in the comments, which anthem gets your blood pumping the most, and what are your predictions for 2026? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the culture of the game. After all, football is just a sport, but these songs are why we stay.